The issue of ownership over the channel came up one day because as amazing as Claire is, consistently putting up that much content will take multiple people. And so it eventually ended up with Claire deciding to leave the company.
That one didn't age quite so well.
Alright, before we get started, to make sure my ass doesn't get sued by CreamHeroes, everything I'm about to tell you has either been stated by Claire herself, the CreamHeroes company, or is something that anyone can base their own conclusions on. I'm not saying anything about anything. I'm just here to answer some questions people have been asking regarding the whole CreamHeroes incident that happened about a little over a month ago. So I see fans ask all the time, what exactly happened with Claire and the CreamHeroes channel? Why did she lose the rights? Who was involved? Well, I sorta answered this in a previous video, but I didn't really go too in depth because as I said, no one really knows what exactly happened. But here I am today to answer those questions in a hopefully simple and concise manner. I've done the research, looked through all the nooks and crannies to hopefully give us a solid answer to it all. Because like many others, I myself was really confused as to what happened. Once again though, this is all speculation outside of the statements that have been put out. Whatever people assume after this, I am not accountable for. Now this video is going to be slightly different from what I normally do. I know I'm seen as a pretty humorous guy who likes to voice unpopular opinions and speak his mind, but this is a rather volatile subject, so I'm sorry if I'm sounding more serious and news reporty. I'll try my best to sprinkle in some jokes here and there if I can. As someone who can't speak Korean, I obviously can't understand a lot of the statements, but fortunately they have been translated by either the people involved themselves or translators. And I'm not about to use Google Translate for a lot of this because I know it will get lost in translation. We will get to the statements in a moment, but I want to look back at the history of CreamHeroes, when it started, and how it got big. From the looks of things, CreamHeroes was a company from the beginning. The branding and watermark can all be seen even from the first video. Plus the budget seemed to be decent as well. Claire having her own cameraman and editor, or at least editing software already. Claire herself said she started doing cat content from live streaming. And in her Why I Make Cat videos, we see a young TT and Didi. No CreamHeroes branding in sight. This is not 100% concrete, but I think the people who would pick up Claire for this channel saw her live streams and decided to work with her. Now, I was not around for Claire's early live streaming as many others weren't, and I'm pretty sure that's because it was on a Korean website or something, but safe to say she had potential, and by the time the first CreamHeroes video was uploaded, we see Didi pretty much fully grown. And just look at these edits, man. No doubt that Claire had already established a fan base because there was already this much art drawn about Didi, either from CreamHeroes themselves or the fans. Something admirable as well is that Claire, even after all those years back, has remained herself. There's no act, there's no script, it's just her speaking like she always does and has fun. As stated before, Claire was the one who even came up with the company name, Cream being the color of Didi, and Heroes added because the cats are Claire's heroes, as I'm sure they are to a lot of us. Soon after, other kitties would show up alongside Didi's debut video that was mostly him, establishing unique characters for the audience to identify with and choose their favorites. Now as you can see here, there are some English titles in the early videos, but I don't believe this is where CreamHeroes expanded to a Western audience. I think the company knew that tutorials are just very popular amongst both sides of the world, and they changed the titles from Korean to English later on, but that's just speculation. I can't really pinpoint the exact video that made CreamHeroes realize that they have a Western audience that they could expand upon, except maybe this video right here. As you can see, the video Cream Cat Ear Cleaning Shop has a significant amount of views over the others. Is it because of a tutorial? Is it because it has a baby Lulu? Who knows? The point is, I'll be bringing up a topic on the Western audience later in the video. CreamHeroes obviously only got more popular from here, but the views were a mixed bag. Some could go viral with over 1 million views, but most of the time it was just that consistent 100,000 or more, and the rare below that. The early years of CreamHeroes was fine. There was no controversy, just seemed like another cat channel. Though admittedly, it is strange to someone who is used to more modern CreamHeroes and Kittysaurus. I don't know if it's because of the lighting they used, the fact that the cats are all little kittens, or the unusual Korean editing, but it was certainly interesting to look back 3 whole years ago to how Claire started. And looking back at it all, man did she have some weird ideas. I highly doubt that the CreamHeroes company made her wear a freaking horse mask or put Lulu in an apron like a baby holder. I don't know what is going on, but strange times for sure. Not that nowadays is much better, but man, I hope Claire donates her brain to science or something. Eventually, CreamHeroes would expand to the Western audience because, as it turns out, cute cats and personality is popular in America. They'd eventually start having English titles and even get translators to add English captions. And what do you know, the views would suddenly go way up because now there was a whole other part of the world added to the conversation. And as a result, more views and a bigger fan base would create more profits. And down the line, Claire would lose the rights to the channel. The last video before the incident being eating bread in secret from Dee Dee. Claire put out publicly in her Claire Lovecat channel a DM conversation between her and the CEO. Now it's all in Korean obviously, but there's a decent translation down here, so let's dissect this whole statement one piece at a time. I'm not going to be reading all of it, just the points that matter. So she apologizes to us all, which she definitely has no reason to apologize. She's not in the wrong here. Her first statement is, "The company in question and I were in a MCN creator relationship." For those of you who don't know what MCN is, it means multi-channel network, and they're basically platforms that help channel owners grow through production, partner management, monetization, all that good shit that every YouTuber would love to start with. In exchange, they get a percentage of the ad revenue that is made. A fair trade in theory, but let's continue before we say anything else, shall we? And the next 4 statements Claire makes, she states promises of ad revenue and a shady as fuck statement of how the editor himself was getting paid. Apparently, according to Claire, the editor's salary was paid by the company at first, but during the mid-2019s, it was paid by Claire herself. She later states that she's had 4 main ads on her CreamHeroes channel, but not once received the revenue from them. And she's still yet to receive them as of February 2020. And to make matters worse, the CEO begged Claire to only give her half the promised revenue. And even then, she never received that half as of February 2020. Whether she's received it now or not, I have no clue. The next statement paragraph, Claire says that everything at CreamHeroes was all under her personal information. Her personal name, phone number, email, house number, and even the AdSense account, which is where all the ad revenue was supposed to go, but instead it went to the company's bank account. Whoo boy, I know this is all translation, but I can really feel Claire's frustration here. The next 2 big statements Claire makes are where things really get juicy, and quite honestly despicable. Here's what she says in summary. Basically, Claire worked at a company named LikeLab, supposedly the company that would eventually make CreamHeroes. In the beginning, Claire states that the company was $150K in debt. It was clearly going to go bankrupt. During this time is when Claire would do her live stream, and in seeing her success, the company would beg Claire to help them, just once at least. Later, Claire would even become the CEO of LikeLab. She wanted to help out her fellow colleagues who have worked hard themselves, whatever it took. After she dropped from being the CEO, however, the company pleaded for her to keep the MCN creator relationship. Up until the end of 2018, there was no contract binding them, and it was just colleagues helping each other, it seems. However, when 2019 rolled around, the channel's profits started to increase. The company naturally would target the channel itself, asking Claire to sign a contract that would hand over the channel to them. Because of this, Claire would leave the company outright and go independent. Backpedaling, the company gave the channel back to Claire. So you can see where this game of hot potato is going. 2020 comes around and the owner of the company states that it was wrong for Claire, the creator of the channel, to have her channel back and demanded that it got handed back over to the company. Now things start to get murky here. Claire goes silent as to the specific reasons why she handed the channel back over to them. This is all obviously private, and please don't go and spam Claire asking why. She probably has to deal with that enough already. She said she doesn't want to go into detail. It obviously makes her uncomfortable. She just wanted to be out of the mess, understandably. Now the last statement Claire makes takes the cake by far. Apparently the CEO made a fake article saying that they couldn't contact Claire. Woo boy, every journalist and news reporter is rolling laughing right now, man. That was by far the worst decision they could have made. Do they not know what PR is? Anyways, the article is obviously full of lies, and Claire, being the strong person she is, was obviously not having any of that shit. So she contacted the CEO, and the CEO just feigned ignorance and said, "Oh, my headaches, I just want to be out of the mess." Have you not heard of aspirin, mate? You're telling me you're avoiding confrontation because of a little headache? I thought you were one of those hardworking people Claire was talking about. A headache for me is every other day, mate, but whatever. You posted a fake article and are now feigning ignorance. I think we know who the people are gonna side on here. And unfortunately, that's where the cruelty of a company lies. A company ultimately is a business, alright? It's a sad but harsh truth. A company cares about how many customers and how much money they're going to be making first, before anything else. What the customers think of them is a secondary reason completely. Am I saying CreamHeroes does this? Of course not. It's all just speculation. Claire again apologizes towards the end and gives us some imagery of the cats rolling around and purring. Again, don't know why she's apologizing when she's clearly not in the wrong here. But let's just continue with the story. Claire would eventually go on to make the Goodbye CreamHeroes video on her Claire Lovecat channel. Something that would explain things hopefully a little better because reading is obviously fucking dead in this era of ADHD, Audible, and just watch everything. Much like this video. I've covered that video before, you can go watch her video on it. I'll just bring up the important and different points she makes as opposed to the CEO text message post. The video itself is very lighthearted and as always Claire keeps it real with us, without hiding anything. She lets us know about how she felt through the course of that period and her responsibility over it. The big point in this video though is around the 3-minute mark, where a bunch of carrots are shown falling to the floor behind her. Again, all speculation, but there is a joke in the Korean community that is called shaking a carrot, where Korean creators will show a bunch of carrots falling to imply they have been overworked or pressured. What you make of that is completely up to anyone's interpretation because Claire doesn't confirm that that's why that was put in the video. Now then, after all that, the CreamHeroes company would naturally have to respond with something that was hopefully not full of baloney. Here is a summary of the CreamHeroes' response to everything Claire has said so far. Greetings to the subscribers. To hell with your greetings, man. I'm sorry, that was out of line. I know, I'm just a little livid right now. Maybe I should take some aspirin. This is to clarify the numerous online rumors regarding recent situations of CreamHeroes based on facts. Ah, so now we're caring about facts, are we? Guess that CEO really did take that aspirin. Anyways, I'm gonna break everything down for you. They bring up Claire's history of having worked in the Like Lab company since 2016. Obviously not bringing up the fact that they were financially fucked, but you know. They do bring up the dicey subject that the company apparently owns Didi, Titi, Coco, and Momo, the first 4 original cats. What does this even imply here? They have the rights to those 4 cats? So what, man? What are you gonna do if she leaves? Take her cats away from her? Could you imagine the shit show that would ensue if that were to happen? I guess they do have some sort of common sense because oh man, I would hate to imagine a devastated mother basically having her children taken away from her just for some money. But hey, I guess they weren't that greedy to do that because Lord knows the internet would come at them with a vengeance. They go on to say that the CreamHeroes channel origin was always from the beginning by the company, not personal. Yet they say immediately after that it was supposed to be made public, and only many years later do they apologize to the subscribers for not doing it at the proper moment. Yeah, okay, I'm not buying that for a second, mate, but let's continue. From the very beginning in 2017 and even until now, the company has maintained the service based on the trust on Claire. The company has always been very positive of every opinion and decision of her. You know what? I don't want to get sued. I'm not even gonna say anything. Sure, man. I'm 100% certain that you respected every opinion of Claire, and that is why she decided to leave the company. The next statement go on to hold on to that nasty notion that CreamHeroes always belonged to the company, but there lies our first true contradiction. Claire said that the company was always under her personal information, yet the company now brings up that it was always theirs. Either case, it doesn't really matter, because Claire is allowed to leave whenever she wants. The company failed to realize that CreamHeroes needs Claire, not the other way around. But that's all speculation, of course. Yet they boasted about how many of the fans liked the YouTube and Facebook content from Claire herself, which led, keyword, the YouTube and Facebook content that Claire made herself before CreamHeroes led to CreamHeroes being made. Honestly, it was just another bad PR move made by the company. Not much else to say what happened after that. Except, you know, obviously Claire getting the rights to CreamHeroes again, but we'll get to that. So you think this whole fiasco would end right there, right? Like, okay, cool. The company tried wiping their ass from the shit they made. It's clear who the people are gonna side with. Claire has nothing to worry about. As far as I'm aware, she doesn't work with anyone that will double cross her on the Kitty Source and Claire Lovecat channels. So c'est la vie, right? Not exactly. Claire would indeed get the rights back to CreamHeroes and as a result start uploading there again. A statement was once again made on her secondary channel. I'm not gonna go in depth into this one, you can read it yourself if you want, but she basically says that she discussed things with the CEO, how they misunderstood each other, apparently, and how they solved things out. Obviously, I don't 100% buy this, but ultimately, I just care if Claire's happy, and respect whatever decision she makes. All I'm saying is, who's to say that this doesn't happen again in the future? I mean, they've seemed to be playing this game of hot potato for a while. It was just never public. Now that it is public though, perhaps things can be more thought out instead of not wanting to tell the truth because of headaches. I'm not saying anything about anyone. Everything that I've said in this video, this long ass video, people can conclude whatever they want. I've just said the facts and my speculation. What I saw is a kind-hearted, selfless woman helping out the company that was down in the dumps, needing help from someone else. This selfless act that helped people when they had nowhere else to go. But once that success started producing money, greed and corruption put blood in the water. Whether or not it was a misunderstanding, the whole situation was handled very poorly. Now, I'm no journalist or news reporter, but I can't sit idly by, even if this is old news, because it's a blister on CreamHeroes as a whole. This channel that seems so pure and innocent, making content that makes our lives less shitty, ending up having this whole ordeal is something I can't forget. Plus, it was so shady. Like Claire has said herself, she's the type of person to just move on in life. So why would she go back and discuss things? And another thing, if the channel belonged to the company the whole time, then why would Claire state that she had the rights to it at all? Why would they even argue this? It's obvious that Claire wanted to get out, but like I said, I'm not saying anything about anything. You can make your own conclusions. This is all just really strange to me. The whole ordeal, in my speculating opinion, is that CreamHeroes realized they need Claire to make money. They realized that in 6 months, the CreamHeroes YouTube channel would not be making money anymore. Because if you don't know, a YouTube channel that has been inactive over a certain period of time will stop making money. Why Claire would go back and discuss is beyond me. She has her own reasons as to not explaining why she'd go back, despite being seen as this person that moves on like she always has. So please respect her like I am and don't go pestering her about it. Please. Anyways, where's CreamHeroes now? Well, they are indeed uploading again. But there is one other issue. Remember when I said I would make a point about the Western audience later in the video? Well, here it is. English captions are no longer available. No idea why. Now the Western audience is alienated again. And don't give me that we can't hire a translator when the Claire Lovecat channel, which is significantly smaller, can get English captions. But whatever, maybe they're just waiting for the right time to bring it back. Who knows what the future holds between the company and Claire? Just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if something like this happens yet again. So yeah, that was my CreamHeroes retrospective video. I know this video was long as fuck, definitely my longest video, but I had a lot to cover as an inexperienced and unofficial reporter. And I know I left on a pretty sour note, but if you want to hear some lighthearted words from yours truly, then stick around. If not, then hopefully I explained that shit show of a story well enough, and get the fuck out of here. Now, I'm very well aware that my videos with the most views involve Claire and the cats. I'm well aware that people consider me the biggest fan of Claire and her cats, some even calling me a simp for it. Man, I remember when you could just defend people for being people instead of something to do with their genders, but it's fine. The point is, I'm done making discussion videos on Claire and her cats for a while, guys. I know this might impact my views, and you don't have to stick around for the videos to come, though I'd much appreciate it if you did. I know all the other videos I did on Claire and her cats were way more lighthearted and jokey, But this is a serious issue that bothered me for a while, and I was holding out on it until I was bigger, but honestly, I'm just out of ideas, and I don't want it to feel like I'm milking at talking about Claire and the cats. Trust me, I love them, but I don't want to solely be known as the person who is the biggest fan of them, because I know there's people out there who have been with her since the beginning, so I can't accept that title. The point is, I want to make my own name for myself, make my own content where we can discuss other things I enjoy, because cats aren't obviously the only thing I'm passionate about. There are many other subjects I'd love to make videos on and discuss with all of you about. My most viewed video is Why I Love Kittysaurus, a video I thought I wouldn't even get 100 views on, but now has over 4,000. And as a result, every time I comment on a Claire video, people line up to reply happily to me, and I appreciate that attention a lot. I really do. But that's not all I want to be known for. I'll still be around, but just know that the videos in the future I'll be making won't be solely focused on Claire and the cats, because this video itself might even come back to bite me in the ass. I don't know if CreamHeroes will come and sue the hell out of me. I mean, I don't have any money, and don't know how international laws for that work since I'm American. But I had to let this out. I was silent about it for too long, and I'm sorry if Claire really didn't want this to be brought up again. But as someone who looks up to her, there's no way in hell that I couldn't give my 2 cents, even if they don't mean anything in the long run. Recently, I even started streaming, and I've noticed the super loyal fans that show up in my comments even show up to the live stream, and all we do is just talk about whatever. I didn't even care that the number didn't exceed 40 live viewers, even though I have over 1,000 subs. I know it doesn't mean much to some, but to me, it meant a lot for anyone to show up. I'm 23 years old now, been through many traumatic experiences, hate my job and my life generally. I compress my depression because nothing phases me anymore pretty much. Aliens could take over the world and invade our booty pipes tomorrow, and I would still go unfazed. That's how hard I'm done with life. But there is something I always look forward to, like many other YouTubers. The fans. It always makes me happy to see everyone commenting and enjoying the content, and even replying to me when I make my own comments. It's genuine joy right there. Coming back to YouTube from an old deleted account, it was never about the money. I knew that taking on YouTube is a complete gamble. You aren't guaranteed to become big and famous. Most don't. And hell, you are definitely going to get unmotivated and just go back to your mundane life instead of chasing this almost impossible dream. Even though I don't have 10,000 subs, and even though I make no money off this, and even though I know it's very unlikely that this will be my job, it's people like y'all that make it all the worthwhile, keeps me motivated, and keeps me wanting to do more. This channel lately has voiced unpopular opinions and has low viewer retention, so I'll try to fix that. But for those real ones who stick through till the end, I want to thank you, genuinely. Thank you so much. Hope you stick around for what's to come. I'll post the occasional CreamHeroes shitpost or whatever. Just don't expect any more discussion videos like this. The Lulu video has a set date for next year, so don't ask me about that either, unless you want a smiley. Fans have even started calling me Uncle Trig, which I think it's funny, but you know what? I like it.